Well, good morning, YouTube. How y'all doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Sunday morning time for another Cruise Chat Live with Walter and Rebecca. Hey, if you're new to the channel, I am Walter, your independent travel advisor with Where's Walter Travel. And as always, my lovely wife, Rebecca, sitting right off camera. And we're here to help you out with cruises, land, luxury, expedition. We are a full service travel agency and our services are 100% free to you. So how everybody doing out there? Let's see, I got Desiree, I got Sue, I got John, I got Michael. Good morning, everybody. I got a bunch of people over here. Kimberly's here, Cindy's here, Rocky Dog, how you doing? Good morning, Sheila. Good morning, Barbara. How's everybody doing out there? It's a beautiful day here in Orlando, as you can see behind me, and we're really getting set up. We're really getting set up well here in the new place. So the new office is up and running. I was going to bring a picture, but I forgot to. Desiree, good morning. Norma, good morning. Thanks so much for being here. Silver Librarians, daylight savings is hitting hard. I know. Hey, at least we were your reminder. I'm sure you all were like, wait a minute, he's an hour early. No, we're not. Stupid clocks. Why do we do that? Why do we do that? So let's see. Ray, your first question is alerts to certain ports lately, like don't taxi and etc. So good morning, Oslo. Where can you get the hour back? I know Arizona doesn't change the clocks in certain areas, so you can do that. So Ray, if you're asking questions about, you know, like some of the like the Bahamas and Jamaica, things like that. Yeah, so there are alerts out there right now. And to your point about taking a taxi, you know, first of all, you really got to do some research about who is a good reputable taxi service in whatever port you're going to. It doesn't matter where it is, you know, you really got to do some research on things like that. Number two, when you take a taxi, you certainly have to negotiate the price before you get in the car, because you know you can you can get changes with things like that. But you know, just like with everything, you have to be very aware of your surroundings when you go to places. And certainly there's some places that you don't want to leave the cruise port unless you are on an excursion. So you know, we talked about this before. You know, the Bahamas is like at a level 2, Jamaica is at a level 3. There's a lot of other countries like Italy that's been a level 2 for a long time. So it's like anything else. You know, you got to be aware of your surroundings, and you know, we recommend doing reputable tours if you're going to go off and do some tours. So, hey, Benny, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Michael, hey, the tree next on my new set is a little crooked. Hey, Michael, when you come down here, you're welcome to go ahead and straighten it out. Hey, Mary, how are you? Good morning, Kurt. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Kurt. Kurt is over on the YouTube side. Kurt is saying congratulations on being mentioned by Gary. So Gary Bembridge, Tips for Travelers. He is like the godfather of cruise content, and we've gotten to know each other over the past couple of years, basically socially. And he just got on the Oceana Vista yesterday, so I'm really excited to see his thoughts on that ship. So we've become good friends over the past couple of years. And he gave me a nice shout out. He did an article about why he always uses a travel agent and why you should too. So thank you for that. Yeah, so Gary gave us a nice shout out. Hey, Rick, how are you? Silver Librarian, so far it's good. Nicole, how have reservations been in the park? I'm not sure.
I think we're talking Disney, and now that if you have a timed ticket, you don't need to make reservations.
You're talking about the Disney parks?
Whereas, like as annual pass holders, we still do. But honestly, we haven't been.
We haven't been in a while. We're actually going tomorrow.
Yes,
for the first
going to
time
Epcot tomorrow.
Yeah, so we'll be able to tell you tomorrow, but we have not been there.
Yeah,
in a
it's
while,
been too busy because of the move and everything.
Yeah, we've just been so crazy busy. So we're finally taking some time to ourselves. How are the alerts for Nassau? Again, so Nassau is a level 2. I know like Italy, Denmark, there's a lot of countries that are a level 2. And basically that means, you know, just be more aware of your surroundings, exercise more caution, I believe is what it says. And so, you know, again, you want to go in groups, you want to go on known excursions, you want to do some research. Certainly You can go through a cruise line excursion, or like we have a third-party partner, Venture Ashore. Venture Ashore guarantees that you're going to get back to the ship on time, or they will get you to the next port. So things like that. And then if you just don't feel secure at all, just don't leave the ship. The thing about cruising is that that port area is secure. It's like an airport. Only workers for the port can get in there, and other guests from cruises can get in there. It's not like it's an open public area. So as long as you stay in that port area, you are in a secure little area. Now, once you leave the gate, now you're out in whatever town or whatever village or wherever it is that you are. Now you do want to exercise caution and whatnot, but that's the same wherever you go. In Europe, big thing is pickpockets. And you see a lot of these people wearing like that fanny pack thing, but it goes across your chest, and that's why. And they say that even if you're sitting at a restaurant, don't put your phone down on the table if you're sitting outside, because somebody could just run by and take it. So you just got to be more aware. Cindy, 222 days to the Sun Princess group.
My countdown says 223.
Yes.
So I don't know.
223. So I'm sorry, Cindy. It's one more day. 223. One more day. But I like your thinking. You're welcome, Ray. I hope that was helpful. I feel like I rambled a little bit. Rick, you're going to be in Epcot tomorrow? So will we. Hey, we'll touch base offline, Rick. Maybe we'll get to see each other. We're stopping into Epcot tomorrow to check out the Flowering Garden. I can't keep up. It's the Flowering Garden Festival this time. Yay! You're welcome, Carol. I'm glad it's so helpful. Chris, how's the new place? It's doing well. We're slowly unpacking. The office is about 80% there. Still got another 20%, but we're so excited because the office is much larger. For those of you who are new to the channel, we just moved from one rental home to another here in the Orlando area, and it's a little bit larger. And now we've got this big, beautiful sun porch out here that we can sit out here on Sunday mornings and chat with you. So yay. Ray, you're going on the Jubilee March 30th. That is so cool. That Carnival Jubilee looks great. We're sending a bunch of clients out on her. I really want to. We have not sailed out of Galveston yet, so that is one of the goals, is to get over to Galveston.
Almost
cruise
did.
Out of there. Yeah, we almost did. We were living in Conroe, Texas, for a little while, and we were set to cruise. Jewel
of the Seas.
Yeah, Jewel of the Seas. We were going to do Christmas and New Year's, and then of course, the shutdown came. So we're not even going to talk about that. We're not going to say the C word. We're not even going to talk about it. Now, John Tober is saying that he is seeing 222 days till our Princess group cruise on the Princess app. So officially, Princess is saying 222. So I think. I'm not going to argue with John. I like John's math more and Cindy's math more.
Well, I'm just telling you
since we're talking about it, if you'd like to come cruise with us, we are going.
I have 223 days and 4 hours.
Well, that's not what the app is saying. So.
Well, maybe they're not counting the hours.
See, so if you'd like to come cruise with us in October 19th through 26th, we're going to be on the Sun Princess sailing out of Fort Lauderdale. The brand spanking new Sun Princess. And by the time it gets here, everything will be working. All the shows will be up and going, hopefully. So yeah, if you'd like to come cruise with us, we have a lovely group of about 40-ish people on board the ship already. And it is starting, inventory is starting to dwindle down. This is a very, very popular ship. So Nurse Tara, good morning. Betty, good morning. Thank you so much for joining in. Nurse Tara, I'm so excited. So, hey, Nurse Tara reminds me that if you're thinking about a wedding or a vow renewal or something like that, we're setting up Nurse Tara with a vow renewal on a cruise. The family is coming on board. It makes it so much easier to do a cruise wedding versus a land wedding sometimes, because you got one point of contact. Now, they can't always do everything that you do on land, but sometimes it can be a lot easier. So that's so exciting. Mary, you like the shirt? I know this is one of my favorite shows of all time. I love this show so very much.
You were very sad it didn't last so long.
I know. I was hoping, this is a very old shirt, by the way. Rebecca was still working at CNN at the time she bought this for me at the Turner store. So yeah. I love all these people who want to go live with me. Just don't even try, guys. I know you're spamming. Your friends want to sneak alcohol on a cruise and you're trying to stop them. What are the consequences? They'll take it away.
Well, that's the lesser.
Huh?
That's the best case scenario.
Yeah, that's the best
case
scenario to take it away. Worst case scenario,
they kick you off the ship.
Yeah. So you got two scenarios. One, they take it away. Two, the worst case scenario is they kick you off the ship. So Thank you, Silver Librarian. Good morning, Chris. 48 days of the Carnival Freedom. That is so awesome. Shmo, do I know if Getaway or the Bliss would be better for kids 11 plus 15? So now the big difference between the two is the Bliss has the go-karts up on the top and the Getaway does not. Otherwise, they're very, very similar ships. I mean, they're both breakaway class. Bliss, I believe, is breakaway plus because it's got the go-karts up on top. Now, the go-karts are not free. I can't remember what it is. I know it's like over $200 for the week. I can't remember what it is per race. So that's really the big difference. Other than that, the ships are pretty doggone similar. You might just want to look at the shows that are on because Norwegian has unfortunately gotten rid of a lot of their Broadway shows. So I don't know which shows are playing on the Getaway versus the Bliss. I will say the Getaway is the one that had that theater, that little theater in the round, right?
It did. I don't know if it's still there.
Okay, yeah.
Because we were on quite a
while ago.
Pre-pandemic.
So they did have a dinner theater pre-pandemic that was really cool. It was like a miniature cirque kind of a show with a bunch of acts and whatnot. Virgin actually has a similar concept with the ship show on their ship.
$15 per ride for the Encore, $200 then for the week.
Okay, all right, so 15. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that. Thank you. So it's probably the same on the Bliss. So yeah, Shmo, you're welcome. Let's see, Nurse Tara, you're all very excited. Yay. Yeah, I've been having a blast talking to Nurse Tara's family. They've all been calling me. They're like so excited about this cruise and going off to do this. Yes, can't wait to see you, Rick. Rick is coming on our Aqua group, and then we have the Oceana group cruise as well. If anybody wants to go to Alaska with us, man, we are going on the Oceana Riviera, which is going to be amazing. Only 1,200 passengers, and it's essentially all-inclusive because Oceana already includes all of your meals, your soft drinks, your Wi-Fi, your specialty coffee. You're going to get a shore excursion credit. I want to say it's like $600 towards your shore excursion. You get beer, wine, and champagne with lunch and dinner. And then with the group, you get prepaid gratuity, plus you get the beverage package upgrade, which allows you to get drinks anytime you want. You can go get a cocktail, go get a wine anytime you want. You don't have to wait till the meal. So that is really, really awesome. So Kurt, any idea when summer and fall 2026 cruises will be announced? I'm not sure which exactly. If you're talking about Princess, I don't know. But a lot of other cruise lines already have 2025 and 2026 cruises out there for sure. Paul, you love the shirt. Thank you so much. This is an old shirt. This is over 10 years old. I love this shirt too. And I have a Cheese shirt too. If you remember Cheese, it says I pooted, which was my red shirt for Scarlet Lady. And I got so many laughs from the crew when I wore it. So, so yeah, I love this shirt too. Dale was not a fan of the Getaway. You were just on it. They do have the Broadway shows. That's cool.
The only official Broadway show I think they had was $1 Million Quartet,
which we enjoyed.
And then they did have that one off-Broadway one. I think the Choir of Man's an off-Broadway.
Yeah. Choir of Man is an off-Broadway show. So,
but I don't.
But they used to have good. I mean, they used to have Kinky Boots. They had, I think, Jersey Boys might still be on some of the ships that's out there. Yeah, they used to have like a lot of really good Broadway shows, but now they've cut them back. And we know that on some of the ships they've replaced it with Wheel of Fortune. And I'm like, I don't know if the Wheel of Fortune is a good replacement. I don't know if any of you have actually played it yet, but definitely check into that for sure. But yeah, so Oceana, Alaska, I know we're doing 12 nights, 8 ports. What I am so excited about is the stop in, where are we stopping in? The one with the zip line?
Icy Strait Point.
Icy Strait Point. It's got the world's tallest, longest, fastest zip line. I cannot wait to do this. Ever since I saw Stephanie's video, our dear friend Stephanie with the Sean and Steph channel, ever since I saw her do that thing and her eyes just went when the gates opened up. I can't wait to go on that. I absolutely. Has anybody watching this? Has anybody done that zip line at Icy Strait Point? Any tips and pointers for me? Before I go there. I cannot wait to see it. Danielle, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining in. I really, really appreciate it. So yeah, let's talk about some of the other group cruises. And of course, hey folks, if you're new to the channel, we encourage you to subscribe, hit those little like buttons. We try to bring you content pretty much every day on TikTok. We try as hard as we can to bring you some new content on TikTok every day. On YouTube, I know I'm way behind, but I have a really good Oceania food review that I've been trying to get done. I have some amazing interviews with some of the crew from the Oceania Serena. They're just fabulous. I just haven't had the time with the move and everything. So now I'm hoping now that we're settled in, I'm hoping to have some time to get back there and start, editing some of these videos. It takes time to edit. Oh, there's a great question. Cheryl, looking for a third-party excursion group for helicopter and dog sled in Alaska. Oh, great question. Great question. Now, the one that I can recommend is in Skagway. If you're going to Skagway, Temsco Helicopters. It's T as in Tom, EMSCO, Temsco Helicopters. That was the company that we booked. Now, the thing about it is the dog sled camp is up in the mountains. And so, you fly up there
and it's
you're going to be
a single place up in the mountains.
Yeah, it's a single place up in the mountains. So if the clouds are low, they cannot fly up there. It's too dangerous for them to fly through the mountains. So if that happens, and that is exactly what happened to us, we had that booked. What happens at that point, they give you two options. One, you can cancel and get a full refund, or two, for a little less money, you can go fly to a glacier.
Get a partial refund.
And explore the glacier. And it's about an hour on the ground or so.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. That's what we did, because I really wanted to fly in a helicopter. I really wanted to see it. And what was really cool, what they did was they flew us one way to get to the glacier, and then they flew a different way to get back. So, we got to see like two completely different landscapes. So Temsco Helicopters in Skagway. Then if you're going to Juneau, by far, at least as far as I'm concerned, the best whale watching is Harv and Marv. These guys are great. We went on them years ago, and we've been sending all of our clients to go to them, and all of our clients are like, oh God, they're great. They're absolutely amazing. So yeah. Is it best to book afternoon versus morning?
I'm not sure if that necessarily makes a difference.
What they're thinking that in the morning there could be more moisture, creating clouds and stuff.
I mean, just honestly, if you read the reviews of any of those helicopter tours to a dog sled camp, they are the most canceled tours, because unlike like the glacier tours, if one glacier's fogged in or cloudy, they can go to a different one.
Right.
The dog sled camp, it's in one place.
It's literally one camp. Now in Skagway, there are a bunch of dog sled camps like right there by the port, but you're probably going to be on wheels on a dirt track. You're not actually going to be out in the snow. Whereas if you fly up into the mountains, you should be in the snow going around with them. So I don't know morning versus afternoon. You like Rebecca,
I can't remember.
You want to look at the reviews.
I can't remember what we
were in the morning because we had the train in the afternoon. So,
oh, that's right.
Yeah. So we did the train in the afternoon. Rick, good morning. Good morning. You're welcome, Cheryl. We love Alaska. Oh my God. And Harv and Marv is one that we are planning to. We're hoping to set up a group excursion up in Alaska on our Oceania cruise with Harv and Marv, so the whole group of us can just go out with them. And that's the thing, with Oceania, they have some real, like one of their excursions is a cooking one. Oh my God. You can go do a cooking class outside in Alaska.
Outdoor seafood cooking.
I am so excited about that one.
I think that's also in AC Strait Point.
It is, I believe so. And then there's a golf one. There's actually a golf one where if the Ravens take your ball, you can just drop and keep playing. I forget where that one is, but that looks like a lot of fun. Absolutely a lot of fun. So yes, if you
want to say that was Wrangell.
Oh yeah, it is Wrangell. Yeah, you are absolutely correct. The Silver Librarian apparently not coming on the zip line with us. They're going to stay on the ground.
I'm not either.
Rebecca's not even going to take the buggy up. I think the Sky Tram looks almost scarier than the actual ride.
I've ziplined before. I don't necessarily have a problem with ziplining. It's just I've seen you take the tram ride up the mountain, and then you have a fairly substantial walk to get from where the tram lets you off to where the
absolutely.
And with my knees, I don't want to irritate them for no
Rebecca does not
big
have
reason
in the world right now. So good morning, Scott. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. But yeah, so and now the other one I've got up on the screen right now over on the YouTube side is our Norwegian Aqua cruise. So the Norwegian Aqua is going to be the third of the Prima
class.
The Prima class. can't even think. And what's interesting about the Aqua, and by the way, we're sailing May 31st through June 7th, 2025. So we're going to be sailing out of Port Canaveral. If you want to come with us, again, we're going to be on that ship. That is the one chance that you have to meet the woman of mystery who's always behind camera. But what's really interesting about this ship, not only did they get rid of the, good morning, Kathy. Not only did they get rid of the go-karts up on the top, but this is the one that this ship was not really well underway when the Prima and the Viva came out. So the Viva was pretty much halfway done when the Prima, in fact, it might have been even further than halfway done when the Prima came out. So all the feedback that they've been getting from the guests, in particular, the fact that the public spaces are really small. They really couldn't make any changes on the Viva. The Aqua, this is the one where they have a chance to start maybe incorporating some changes that the guests have been giving. And I think, you know, the water slide on top, getting rid of the go-karts is a big part of that feedback right now. So now we've got the Aqua Slide coaster up on the top of the NCL Aqua. And that is going to be amazing. And I'm also curious to see, are they going to make some of those public spaces a little bit larger? Because some of the complaint was that they have way too much retail space, way too much space for people to move around. And then they just made the public spaces like the Comedy Club and some of the other venues small. So have they expanded on those? So I'm really hoping they have. The class of ship is just stunning. If you've never seen one, the class of ship is just absolutely freaking stunning. So they're absolutely gorgeous. Yes, Nurse Tara, doing seafood cooking outside. Oh my God, I'm so excited to do that up in Alaska. Good morning, Jen. Thank you so much for joining in. Really do appreciate all you guys tuning in. Appreciate all of your support. We've been having an amazing time booking. That's one of the reasons why I haven't put out as much content of late, because we've just been so busy. One, packing and unpacking and moving, and then just booking. Y'all have kept us so busy. I've lost track. I know we're up to something like 870 proposals now, something like, or 840 proposals, something like that now. So y'all have been keeping us busy. And I mean, we've only been at this for less than 18 months. So yeah. Jessica, you're taking your first cruise on the Breeze in 10 days. That is absolutely awesome. Welcome to the cruise family. I love it. Welcome to the cruise family. I tell you, you are going to be hooked. At least I hope you're going to be hooked. I hope you have a great time. Carnival is a really, really fun cruise line, and you know there's nobody like the Fun Squad. Nobody beats the Fun Squad when it comes to trivia and games and the sail away party and all that good stuff. The Sky Princess they had a good game going on the Sky Princess. That team had a really good game going. I love this. Nurse Tara says, whenever I say the woman of mystery, I picture Rebecca in a gorgeous masquerade ball gown and mask.
Yeah, no. Pretty nice.
The mask, maybe.
Maybe.
But the ball ground, she would just trip over it and fall over it.
Yeah.
That would not be
I think I own like 4 dresses and none of them are long. They're all relatively casual.
What about all you guys? Like you when you go on a ship that still has formal night? Because you know, formal night is not really much of a thing as much anymore. But when you guys go on a ship that has formal night, you go all out. You bring the suit, the ball gown, and all of that stuff. We really haven't of late. You know, we've just been so casual and relaxed on the ship that we really have not of late. So what do you guys do? You guys go ahead and bring the full suit, maybe a tuxedo and the dress and all of that good stuff. I'm kind of curious what you all do. Oh, Jessica, you're going with another first timer and 1 platinum cruiser. That is so awesome. So the platinum cruiser should be able to help you figure some of the stuff out. Yeah. Barbara, what is the itinerary on the Sun Princess? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let me bring up the graphic. We leave from Fort Lauderdale, Barbara, on October 19th. Then we're going to go to Princess Keys, which is Princess's private island. Then we'll go over to San Juan. And by the way, San Juan is a 14-hour stop. So, you know, you got time easily to do like 2 excursions there if you want to. Then we'll go to St. Thomas. And then we head back. And we've got 3 total sea days. And that's one of the reasons why we picked this itinerary, because this is a brand new ship, brand new class of ship. So we've got 3 sea days to really explore the entire ship. And my plan right now is on the 2nd sea day, we're going to do a cabin crawl, because we have so many different kinds of cabins booked that it would be fun just to kind of do a little cabin crawl and go see everybody's cabin.
Still waiting for somebody to book a suite so we can go visit one of those.
Barbara, we encourage you to book a suite because that's the only category of cabin that we have not booked.
Although I don't know if there's any left at this
There
point.
may not be any left, but yeah. So, let's see. Total home. You vacation casual all the time. No dress up, Cindy. You don't dress up. You're casual cruisers. Rick, bringing a suit is a hassle. You need a suit carrier. You are absolutely correct. But Barbara, seriously, if you or anybody else is watching this, like I said, we've got around 40 people, plus or minus 40 people who are going on the Sun Princess with us. This is going to be a really fun cruise. It's going to be a really, really fun cruise. I'm like so excited to meet this ship. I cannot wait to meet this ship. So,
and admittedly, her launch has been, shall we say, rocky.
A little rocky. Yes.
But they're starting to get there, and
to get
they
there.
certainly. I have complete faith that by October they'll be there.
Yes.
Like with the Aqua, I was less concerned. We're only booking like a month after it comes out.
Yeah.
But since that's the third of its class,
It should be a little better.
concerned me a little less.
Should be a little better, yeah. And Jen is saying that she loves an excuse to dress up. Her life is pretty casual, but she loves an excuse to dress up. Nurse Tara saying, I love seeing everyone dressed to the nines.
Oh, I love seeing everyone else dressed up.
We like to see everybody else. We compliment everybody else because it's amazing. I mean, especially those who still wear tux. I'm like, wow, that is sharp. Hey, Bill, good morning. Good morning. You guys are getting on a ship today, aren't you? Or is that one of the ones that we canceled? I can't keep track. I think you're getting on a ship today, or is that one? Good morning. How are you? Barbara, the cost, I don't know. You're going to have to reach out. Just drop me a line and I'll set up a call and I'll go over all the pricing with you. I don't know what it is offhand, but I'll be happy to walk you through because it also depends on the inventory. The ship is starting to get very, very popular. So yeah, just reach out. And if you're watching us on TikTok, you can go through, click my logo, and there's a link to contact us. If you're watching on YouTube, there's links in the description to contact us, or you just go to where'swaltertravel.com and click on contact us. Just set up a time. I've got time this afternoon, I know for sure. Or just drop me an email at where'swaltertravel.com.
I just noticed we can see the flamingo's head above your shoulder.
Oh, yeah, the flamingo's head back there?
Or at least on TikTok.
On TikTok. Oh, yeah, there he is right there. Our flamingo.
Oh, and if anybody is curious about the saga of the spider from last Thursday evening.
Gee, if you were watching on Thursday evening.
Walter vanquished the spider.
I vanquished the spider. So those of you who were tuned in on Thursday night, you know what we're talking about. Good morning, Chuck. How are you? Good to see you. Yay. You like the background? Yes. User 297, do they still have white nights? So, MSC does. I know MSC still does it. Celebrity used to. I don't know if Celebrity still does.
I've never been one of much for bringing extra clothes just for an evening thing, so I really haven't kept track. But there are still some lines that do it. I'm just
white night.
couldn't tell you which ones.
Really hard to keep up with all this stuff. I know Scarlet Night. Scarlet Night's an easy one to remember on Virgin. Good morning, Joe. How are you? Good to see you. Yes, Bill, they are getting on Scarlet Lady today. Okay. Poor, Bill and Jill have just had some of the luck in the world here with Virgin Voyages having multiple cruises canceled and rebooking. And but you guys have been troopers through it all. So have an amazing time on the Scarlet Lady. What a great ship. What a great ship. Have a great time. Say hello to the diva for us, for sure. Melissa, you have a stateroom with a balcony on the NCL Joy. Oh, boy, I'll tell you, that ship just came out of dry dock with a lot of cool new features. Oh, you're going to have a great time. You put in 4 bids for the Haven. Any advice? Just remember, now you can't go wrong with the Haven. So, yeah, if you're bidding on the Haven, there isn't a bad cabin there. So my advice is just remember that if they accept your bid, you're just going to, whatever it is, whichever one they accept, you're just going to move in. Other than that, wow, have a great time.
Well, and I would also mention that it's a good idea not to get your hopes up too high because they may not actually have any of those cabins you bid on available.
Yes. Yeah. So for those of you tuning in who don't quite understand that, every cruise line about a month or 2 out is going to send you an email. Go, hey, would you like to outbid on these awesome cabins? You got this crappy one. How would you like these better ones? And so they're going to list a whole bunch of cabins that you can bid on. And just because those cabins are listed doesn't mean they're actually available. They're hedging their bets that if somebody cancels, then you get the cabin. If somebody upgrades out of this cabin, then you can have that cabin. So when you actually make the bid, let's just say there's 5 junior suites. Well, all 5 of those might be booked at the time that you go ahead and make a bid on one. And they're just banking on, well, if somebody cancels out of it, then you go ahead and move into it. So just know that, I think you did a good thing putting in 4 bids. So you've got 4 chances to get a room. And hopefully you get one, because the Haven is freaking amazing.
And it does sell out very quickly. So the chances of somebody would probably have to cancel relatively late.
Well, and we don't know what the inventory is.
Well, no, we don't.
We may have some empty cabins. That is one of the advantages of working with a travel advisor like myself. We can actually go in and see the inventory. Like when you get the bid, I can actually go in and see if there's any inventory actually there at the time that you're making the bid, so long as the ship is still listed. Once the ship goes sold out, then we can't see it, and obviously the ship would be sold out. John is saying that Celebrity's full moon party used to have a lot of people dressing up in white, but a few weeks ago on the Reflection, almost nobody did. Unless they remind you to bring the white clothes, or to bring, like everybody knows Scarlet Night, they remind you all the time, hey, get ready for Scarlet Night, bring your red. So unless they remind you, like a lot of cruise lines.
Which, by the way, I want to mention, I've never worn red on Scarlet Night.
Yeah, she's never worn red on
I don't look good in red, frankly.
And she keeps hurting herself, so maybe that's bad luck.
I haven't hurt myself on any of the Virgin ships.
That is very true. But that is one of the things, like when these cruise lines send you all these reminders, they don't really tell you, like, well, what nights are coming up? Bring white, would you? Bring red, would you? Bring, all this stuff. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Alexis is asking, would I go on the Icon again? Yes, in a heartbeat. I'm so jealous of everybody that gets to go on her for 7 nights, because 3 nights was not near enough. It's my favorite. I will say it is my favorite Royal Caribbean ship right now. Mariner still has a real good spot in my heart, because I love that class of ship. I think the Voyager class is a really nice class of ship. It's not too big, it's not too small. Got all the great features in it. But the Icon, there's so much celebrity in the Icon. So for me, it's like a grown-up Royal Caribbean ship. All that amazing stuff for the kids, that water park, that's a legit water park up on the top. I'm pointing up because it's up on the top of the ship. But that is a legit water park. And then, of course, you got the flow rider, you got the ice skating rink and all that. But just in terms of the layout, the flow, the Pearl Cafe is amazing. The way you can now get from the Pearl Cafe and the Promenade up to Central Park and back down again. Central Park, you can look outside. Of course, the Pearl Cafe, it's like night and day over the Promenade, Cafe Promenade. And then you go step out into the Overlook. Everybody, like you probably, most people like me thought that, well, that glass dome, that's the Aqua Theater. Well, no, the Aqua Theater is just in the middle of it. That whole glass dome in the front is just the Overlook, and it literally takes your breath away the first time you see it. It's just so freaking amazing. So yes, I'm dying to go back on the Icon again. I don't know when we will, but I'm dying to go back on the Icon. I cannot wait. And I'll encourage everybody one more time. If you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel advisor. We book cruises, land tours, luxury, and expedition. Our services are 100% free. We do not charge you a dime for any of our services. And we basically like to say we provide as much or as little as you need. So if you want us to plan the whole thing soup to nuts, we can do that. If you just want us to plan just the cruise or just the land tour, we can do that as well. There are links on TikTok. There are links on YouTube, or you can just simply go to where'swaltertravel.com and contact us. And myself and Rebecca will be happy. You won't talk to Rebecca, though. I'm the one that you're going to have to talk to, so I'm so sorry about that. But you do get to hear Rebecca in the background a lot. Just like, it's really funny, just like this show, she will interject from the background when I'm on video chats and when I'm on calls. So it's really, really, really funny. So Barbara, you got about 160 days until the NCL Epic out of Rome. I'll tell you what, that is going to be amazing. It's going to be epic. That is awesome. Terry, Celebrity did White Night on the cruise you went on at the end of January. Awesome. Good morning, Julie. How are you? You're welcome, Alexis. Hey, if there's anything we can do, just reach out. where'swaltertravel.com. We'd love to help you. We'd love to be your travel advisor. Great question from Nurse Tara. How different or alike is Half Moon Key versus Princess Key? So these are both Carnival-owned brands. Princess Keys is Princess's private island. Half Moon Key is Holland America's private island. And right now, Carnival actually goes to both of these islands until Celebration Key opens up.
I don't think we ever actually got off at Half Moon Key.
Half Moon Key, we never got off.
Because we had the cabanas
right, on the ship.
up on the ship, and we just kind of chilled.
I would say that they're rather similar, to be honest with you. They're both just beach resorts. You know, there's nothing like major on them. They're both tender ports. And what Rebecca was referring to is we were on the New Amsterdam when we were on that sailing. And we purchased for the entire week the cabanas that are up by the pool, up above the pool. These
and one deck above the pool.
And because we had the cabanas, we said, there's really no reason for us to go onto the beach, take a tender and go onto the beach. So we opted to just stay on the ship. We had our cabana helpers. They were bringing us water. They're bringing us strawberries. They're bringing us all this stuff. We're like, yeah, we're just going to stay on the ship and enjoy. And that's what we ended up doing. But in terms of islands themselves, Half Moon Key and Princess Key are actually rather similar. They're just beach resorts.
Although I will say I saw a video from Para DJ, and she went snorkeling from the beach on Princess Keys, and she saw a squid actually swimming.
Yeah.
I've never seen squid actually swimming.
Yeah. Nurse Tara brings up a good point. She didn't realize that Half Moon Key was also a tender port. Pretty much all of the private islands in the Bahamas are tender ports except Coco Cay and Ocean Key from MSC.
Castaway Key.
Oh, Castaway Key from Disney. Yeah, so those three are your docks, and of course Celebration Key coming from Carnival. When she opens, she can hold 2 ships, but she's going to be able to hold 4 a year after opening.
Yeah, it's basically the older private islands. Very few of them have been retrofitted I mean, Coco Cay was retrofitted with a pier.
Was, and we really think Norwegian should retrofit Great Stirrup Key as well, because they missed that port a lot. So, Julie, 39 days of cruising on the Celebration, your second cruise. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Celebration, great ship. I think Lee is back on there. Lee, your cruise director. That guy, if you're not following Lee, your cruise director, on social media, you really should. He's been voted like the top cruise director. I don't know how many years running now. He's on Carnival. He's been on the Celebration. I don't know where this guy gets this energy. Plus, he's got that Australian accent, which makes everything he says even cooler. So Lee, your cruise director, and he is the cruise director on Celebration. You know, he's like 3 months on, 3 months off kind of a thing. So yeah, you should definitely check that out. Greg, the food looks great on Sun Princess. If you didn't already have Beyond in September, you would love to go. Do you know, are the mini suites all showers? There are some that have tubs. That's a very good question. There are some that have tubs, and I can tell when I click in and I look at the description of it, it tells me whether there's a tub or a shower.
No, I know on the ships previous to this, the mini suites pretty much all had tubs.
Yeah, so they all had tubs prior to this ship. Now you're going on the Beyond. That's like an amazing ship too. But I do not know if not every mini suite has a tub anymore. Some of them now have just showers. So we would have to check.
The most exciting bathroom news from the Sun Princess: shower doors.
Yeah, they all have shower doors. If you don't know, Princess is still famous for having shower curtains that suck in on you when you're trying to take a shower. Use binder clips. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I've got the tip both on YouTube and TikTok. Binder clips. Binder clip. Greg, but if you want to know more information, just set up an appointment. I'll take a look and see what's out there. But you're going on the Beyond. That's a heck of a, I don't know, man.
We haven't been there yet.
That's a goal between those two. I don't know. That Beyond. We were on the Symphony of the Seas, and she came cruising in, docked up right next to us, and I was like, oh my God, that is a gorgeous ship. So we've still not been on the Beyond yet.
Or any of the Edge class yet.
Yeah, we haven't been on any Edge class yet. Our plan is still to have Captain Kate renew our vows when we hit our 30th in a couple of years. So that's the plan. So, Judy, you were on the Celebration in December and you loved it. I'll tell you what, I really enjoy that class of ship. We were on the Mardi Gras, which was the original. So we still have not been down to Celebration, and we've got to get over to Galveston to check out the Jubilee. Good morning, Christy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, Christy is one of our moderators on the Facebook group. So if you're not in our Facebook group yet, We have a lovely Facebook group. I didn't even realize until just a few days ago that we've crossed 500 members. It is a positive space in social media. No politics, no derogatory comments, no nothing. We're all there to help each other out. And that's how that space is going to stay. Because my rules, my house, my rules. So if you'd like to come over and join us, we've got a lovely group over there. I probably post way too many specials and deals in there, but I love seeing you all post your stuff. And everything that you've got going on. So yes, Christy, I am going to come to Galveston, and you need to come here and go to Disney parks for sure. Nurse Tara saying she usually leaves the shower curtains open and line the floor. All you've got to do is just put binder clips on the bottom of the shower curtain, and the shower curtain will just
Yeah,
stay
I think
right
I
in
used
place.
4 or 5 binder clips on the bottom of the curtain.
Binder
Worked
clips.
beautifully.
Binder clips. Just put them on the bottom of the shower curtain, and they will actually stay in place. Good morning, Pretty TK. Thank you so much for joining in. I'll invite you all, if you've got any questions at all about cruising, travel, Disney, you name it, just go ahead and throw it out there. We'll do our very best to give you the answers. I'm Walter, your independent travel advisor with Where's Walter Travel. As always, my lovely wife, Rebecca, right off camera. And we handle cruises, luxury, expedition, land tours, whatever you need. We're full service, and you never pay us a dime. We do not charge any fees for any of our services. I know some of our colleagues are starting to introduce fees and things like that. So far at this time, we're not doing it. I hope we never have to. So we just enjoy doing what we're doing, and we just figure if we do everything right, the commissions and the payments all take care of themselves at the end. So we just really like what we're doing. I hope it shows. We really have a good time doing this. And a lot of you don't know, my previous career was in television, film, documentary filmmaking. So that's kind of how we run this business. I brought a lot of that mindset. I used to manage up to 300, 400 projects a year in my old job. And I used to run my own creative agency. So we brought that forward. So like right now we have something, we're probably close to over I know we are. We have over 300 active bookings right now that we're managing. And we're able to do that because of that whole management structure and how we used to run all the creative agencies. So we try to do that. We try our best. I mean, hey, we're not perfect, but we try our best. So Gary, you are so kind. And Gary, I owe you some insurance quotes. I'll get those to you today for sure. Travel insurance, you always want to travel with travel insurance. And Gary's like, oh, we just realized we didn't get any for our cruise. So I will get that quote to you today. Lola, you are very kind. Thank you. We're your favorite cruise creators. That is so incredibly kind of you. Pretty TK, you have your first ever cruise in August on the Valiant Lady. Do I recommend getting their insurance? Now, first of all, you are going to be so spoiled going on Virgin Voyages for your first cruise. I have sent so many people. I've sent so many people on Virgin for their first cruise, and I always warn them, you're going to be so spoiled. Then you're going to go on another ship, and you're like, wait, I got to pay for this. I got to pay for that. I got to pay for that. So you picked a great ship to go on your first cruise. Not just Virgin Voyages, but in general, I don't recommend the travel insurance for most every cruise line except Viking. Viking has amazing travel insurance. But most cruise lines, the travel insurance is heavily weighted towards getting your money back if you have to cancel. That's primarily what it's all there for. The medical coverage and the medical evacuation in the event that something actually happens to you while you're on the cruise is generally very weak. So we recommend getting independent travel insurance. Now, we represent and actually use Allianz Global or Allianz Travel Insurance. And that's the quote that we'll send to all of our clients. You can also go to insuremytrip.com, where you can put in all your information, and it will bring up a whole bunch of policies for you to look at and compare. Now, the one thing I will say, if you're taking that 4-night cruise, which is the Fire and Sunset Soiree, your first stop is going to be in Key West. Your second stop is going to be in Bimini. I think their coverage is around $10,000 medical for Virgin. I maybe $25,000 emergency evacuation. It might be good enough, for what you're doing. We still much prefer the independent travel insurance. Now, the Allianz Global that we typically propose to our clients is $50,000 in medical coverage and up to $500,000 in emergency evacuation. So you are taking the 4-day. I mean, in that case, maybe it's safe to go with that. But you want to compare the cost too, though, because I don't remember how much the Virgin Voyages is, and then compare it to an independent. The independent may be lower cost.
Although you do have to be aware, if you have any pre-existing conditions, if you purchased this cruise a while back, while you can still get the insurance, the independent insurance will most likely not cover pre-existing conditions, whereas the cruise line insurance might.
Yeah, it might, and it might.
I mean, there's so many terms and conditions to read through.
And we have a policy that we can sell now right up until final payment, where the pre-existing conditions are covered. It used to be, the main policy that we do sell, you got to get it within 14 days of your deposit, and any pre-existing conditions that you may have will be covered in the insurance. Now we've got a different policy that we can offer right up until final payment, and the pre-existing conditions will be covered. Once you get past final payment, well, the pre-existing conditions are no longer covered. But that is a real nice option that we do have. It's through our host agency, KHM Travel Group. They negotiated a group travel rate, basically, that covers all of KHM Travel. So now we can go all the way up to final payment and still cover those pre-existing conditions, which is amazing. You were quoted $152. It seemed high for 4 days. So the price is based on well, if you did it through Virgin, they have their own math of how they do it. But a big part of that is usually like around 10% of your cruise fare. So I'm guessing that your cruise fare was somewhere around $1,500 to $2,000. That's usually around what the cruise lines do. Maybe a little higher. Maybe it can be 20% as well. So what I would do, I would just go to insuremytrip.com and check it out there. So let's see. I've got a question from Amy. I'll be right there, Amy. Michael says August must be a good month to take a first cruise. Becky is asking, any experience with global entry? You have TSA pre-check and looking at other programs. I have global entry, and I did it because I had a previous job where I was starting to go overseas a bunch. I haven't used it much since, but I'm hoping 2026 is going to be the year that we start going back over to Europe. Global entry is great. I will say, when I came back from London, I just had to put my passport into the little scanner thingy, and because I had global entry, that was it. I didn't have to stop. I didn't have, all the rest of the people in my group were like having to go stop and do the whole 9 yards. But if you've got TSA pre-check, global entry is not that much more than doing the TSA pre-check. The only thing is you've got to go and be interviewed at an airport
it's not always an airport.
Yeah, but you do have to go. You do have to go be
in-person interview.
I think it's great.
Although it isn't really much of it. They just ask you some questions about the form you filled out. It's
really
nothing.
It's more intimidating because you're in this office with all these like officers, so it's a little bit intimidating.
Well,
Amy,
I didn't have that many officers where I was.
Amy, can an annual insurance plan cover cruises and U.S. only travel together? Yeah. So what an annual insurance plan does, it covers, depending on the policy. Now with Allianz, the one that we sell, it covers all travel once you get past 100 miles from your house. So that could be driving, that could be land tours, that could be cruises, it could be anything you want. And the main difference between an annual policy and a trip policy is that when you buy a trip policy, you're buying a bucket of money just for that trip. So $50,000 in medical, $500,000 in medical evacuation, $5,000 in cruise, all those things. When you buy an annual policy, that's now a bucket. So what you want to make sure of is that the actual trip part of the insurance, the $2,500 to $5,000 to $7,000, $10,000, whatever that is enough for what you think the most expensive travel is going to be that year. So like if you know that you've got a $10,000 Alaska cruise coming up, right? You're going to want to get a $10,000 policy.
Well, if you want the whole thing covered.
If you want the whole thing covered. So what happens is when you file a claim, let's say you file a claim, you got hurt, and you file a $10,000 medical claim, and you had $50,000 on medical coverage. You now have $40,000 for the rest of the term of that contract. So that's the difference. It's a bucket of money, and every time you make a claim, money gets drawn out, and then you've got so much left. And if a number gets too low or gets down to zero, you can go ahead and start a new annual policy. You buy a new annual policy at that point. So that's the big difference. But if you're taking at least 3 trips every single year, especially, say 2 cruises and a land trip, it probably is going to work out in your favor to go ahead and look at annual policies for sure. Absolutely. Nurse Tara wants to know, any thoughts on Haiti? Do I think Royal Caribbean will pause sailing to their island?
Nope. They've already come out with saying
yeah,
nope.
They actually came out with a statement saying no at this time. Now, they have in the past. The thing that they noted was that Labadee is all the way at the very top of the island. It's actually on a peninsula at the very top of the island. It is a 6.5-hour drive through the mountains from Port-au-Prince, where like a lot of the stuff is going on. So while it is a do not travel right now from the U.S. State Department, they have their own private security. It's a gated resort. They feel that right now, all of the security measures that they have in place, Labadee is still a safe place to visit. But as with anything else, they're constantly reevaluating. They have put a pause on it in the past, and at any given time.
Well, I think that was after the earthquake.
Yeah.
They put a pause on it.
So they could put a pause on it again. But as of right now, they're still sailing to the island. And I'll be honest, I kind of preferred Labadee over Coco Cay because it's just a nice chill beach resort. I do love that. You're welcome, Pretty TK. Gary Q, do all the lines have comparable Wi-Fi quality? No. Even among the ships, they don't have comparable Wi-Fi quality. So you've been hearing all the talk about Starlink. You can get land speeds at sea. Yes, you can. If the cruise line updates all the infrastructure in the ship. So it's not just, hey, we put the receivers up there, we've got Starlink. Well, if all of the infrastructure throughout the ship is still for the old systems or the slower speeds, they've got to update everything throughout that entire ship, maybe even just like replacing cabling, replacing modems, replacing routers, replacing everything. So until they do that, you're not going to get the full experience of the Starlink speed. Then you take into account where that ship is in relation to all of the satellites. Now, we live here in Florida. We can actually see SpaceX pretty much every single night. When they take off, I can see them. We're 60 miles from Cape Canaveral, and I can actually see them taking off. For a while there was like 2-3 launches going off every week, and every one of them was the Starlink. So they're spreading that web even more. And as they do, the coverage is going to get better. Like I know over in the Mediterranean, it's been worse than in the Caribbean. And even Alaska was worse than the Caribbean. But there are so many satellites going up. So it's not just the cruise line quality, it's just the individual ship. So like you can have an amazing experience on Symphony of the Seas, and you go on Allure of the Seas, and you got a terrible experience. And you're like, what happened? It's the same cruise line. Something with the infrastructure, it's just not the same.
And weather can also affect the quality too.
When you've got cloud cover, and especially when it's raining really, really hard, that internet's just going to get knocked out, because you'll notice that they have the domes on the ship, and that's where a lot of the receivers are. So when the domes are getting hit with a lot of rain, you're going to lose the signal. So they are comparable, yes, but ship to ship, it varies greatly. So Bradley, do I know much about Sun Princess? You booked a 14-night next May in the Mediterranean. Well, we were just talking about that. We have a group going out in October 19th through the 26th, 2024 from Fort Lauderdale. It sounds like, first of all, the Sun Princess, it just looks amazing. It is the first in its class. It is the largest ship that Princess has ever built. It's also the largest ship that particular shipyard has ever built. And, I had a couple of clients talking about, well, maybe we'll go out on the inaugural, maybe we'll go out on the first couple. No, never, ever go out on the early sailings on a ship that is brand new. Like literally everything about it is brand new, because there are going to be problems. And unfortunately, they had to cancel a couple of sailings. They really should have canceled about 3 or 4 more, because the ship was not ready to go. She sailed out. The entertainment literally was not ready, except for some of the lounge acts. That was it. We just heard that the arena is finally starting up, but the ship is absolutely stunning, and this is why we booked it in October. So the ship's going to have an entire Mediterranean season before she comes over to Fort Lauderdale. We've got about 40 people all going out on this one.
Next May, it should be in good shape.
By next May, obviously. If you've got May 2025, you should be in good shape. The ship looks absolutely stunning. I love all the new dining venues that they've added. I cannot wait to see the dome up top. I'm thinking the dome is going to be a similar experience to walking into the overlook on the Icon with the big glass aqua dome on the top. I'm thinking that's going to be a very similar experience, just taking your breath away when you see it.
And I have heard that one of the sailings in March, they've invited a lot of cruise vloggers on. So after that point, you will probably see a bunch of good videos. I've seen some videos lately, but most of them haven't been really great.
People who are just on the ship and like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and film. But yeah, so you're going to start seeing a lot of video come out on the Sun Princess over the next few months. But I mean, she looks absolutely amazing. It looks like the evolution. We actually have a cove balcony in October. I remember we were on the Mardi Gras and we came into San Juan and we were stepping off the ship. I'm like, oh my God, there's balconies down here. I had never heard of a cove balcony. And I was like, I want to cruise there. I want to see what it's like being down here on the waterline. And I remember watching a Ben and David video at one point. They were on the Celebration doing a transatlantic and they were down there. I'm like, this looks really cool. So that's actually the balcony that we have. We're going to be underneath the lifeboats, which will be different. Looking up at the lifeboats up above us, it'll be kind of different. But that is absolutely what we are doing. So.
And we did find out that they have these metal doors that will cover the opening for the cove balconies. And we found out when they do the LNG refuels, they have to close all of the cove balconies up.
It makes sense. I'm sure just any kind of refueling, they probably.
Yeah. And plus also they have them there for really, really bad weather.
Yeah.
But we don't expect that.
Yes, we don't expect that, but it would be fun. Act Normal, good morning. How did the move go? It's still going. The moving part is definitely done. It's the unpacking and where is it?
And where the heck am I going to put this?
Exactly. But we do have this big, this sun porch is unbelievable. I can't wait to show you.
And we have zero outdoor furniture.
Yeah, we have zero outdoor furniture, but we are loving it. We're so thankful to still be in the Orlando area. We're no further away from Stephanie, which was the goal was actually to get closer to Stephanie. We didn't quite accomplish that, but we didn't get any further from her, so that's good. And we've got a big painting project for Stephanie. So once that's done, we're going to show you a new set at some point. But yeah, so it's going well. Thank you. Pretty TK. I know dining on VB is amazing. I only have 4 nights and want to try each specialty. Any tips? I would say put Test Kitchen down low. Our favorites, or at least my favorites, are Razzle Dazzle, Pink Agave. And the Wake is good for brunch. I don't really care for it for dinner. And then Extra Virgin. Rebecca's not as big a fan of Extra Virgin, but Extra Virgin is not bad.
Well, it's mostly because I don't eat meat.
Yeah, and
if
those
you
are the
meat,
3.
it's fine.
Those are really the big 3.
But there are 6 main specialty restaurants, and so in a 4-night cruise, you're not going to get to try all of them for dinner.
No,
Can't.
But you can hit Razzle Dazzle and the brunch for Wake. Razzle Dazzle and the Wake for brunch. Excuse me. You can hit both of those for brunch if you want to. Of course, you're going to be in port for 2 days. And yeah, I would put Pink Agave and Razzle Dazzle at the top of the list for.
Although there are people who are not fond of Razzle Dazzle.
Oh, and then of course Gun Bay. Gun Bay is a fun first night Korean bar. It's not the best Korean barbecue in the world, but it's a fun first night thing because you get to meet some of your other sailors. It's a big social thing. I will say you're going to Key West. Anybody watching this, you're going to Key West. Rebecca turned us on to this place. DJ's
Clam Shack.
DJ's Clam Shack. I'm telling you, folks, unbelievable lobster roll, unbelievable fried clam. Now, the ship's going to dock. You walk off the ship, and you're basically going to be walking up to Duval Street. Just start walking north on Duval Street. It will come up on your left eventually. It's about a 10 to 15-minute walk from the ship. And it is literally a shack. It's a shack with about 6 seats up against the sidewalk. That's it. Lobster roll and fried clams, DJ's Clam Shack in Key West. Unfreaking believable.
And I got the regular lobster roll. They have a double stuffed lobster roll. I can't
the
amount of lobster that was in the regular roll, I can't even imagine what's in the double stuffed one.
Douglas has 36 days of carnival celebration. Sunday morning with your coffee. Yes. Yes, it almost erases the fact that we lost an hour. By the way, you guys like my mug? Isn't this fun? Mine. So the thing that I have learned that when you go to the world of Disney and Disney Springs is if you see a mug you like, you got to buy it because like you go back next week, it's not going to be there. There's actually a seagull inside the mug.
Can't show it to you because he'd spill his tea everywhere.
I would spill it all over the place. That's a fun handle. You took insurance for Royal Caribbean, had to cancel for a health reason, been 4 weeks now and still no money. That's not unusual. I mean, most insurance companies, I'd say it's probably going to take like 2 to 3 months until you get a reply. Allianz like surprised me with 2 weeks getting a refund to this one particular client. I would say like a month is about the average, a month to 2 months. It depends on what the claim is and what they have to look at and how many, but that doesn't surprise me. Give it a little time. You'll get there.
And I will say, if you're ever have something happen to you on the ship and have to make a claim, make sure you get copies of all the records.
Everything.
Because you will need that to file the claim.
You'll need everything, like have copies of everything. I've had Allianz actually call me as well, just to confirm aspects of the cruise. Did they travel? Blah 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 too as well.
Well, and you've had people who've had to cancel for medical reasons, and they have to have all these official doctors things, and so
I literally had a group cancel the week before the cruise for COVID. And they had to provide all the documentation from a doctor. Lisa Ball, you've always wanted to cruise. You have mobility issues. Are mobility scooters allowed? Great question. The answer is yes. 100% yes. Now you may have
there are some caveats.
Yeah. Now you may have seen a lot of stories lately going, well, Carnival doesn't come on anymore with a scooter. That's totally wrong. Totally false. Every cruise line has a policy that if you bring a scooter onto the ship, it needs to fit in your room. You can't leave it out in the hallway. You can't leave it out in the elevator lobbies to charge it. It has not really been enforced until now because, as with anything else, you let people, get away with things long enough. People are just going to take advantage of it and cause an issue. And what happened is there's so many scooters out in the hallways or out in the elevator lobbies starting to cause an issue. So there's actually a brand that we recommend. So Scootaround is a well-known company. So Scootaround is owned by a company called Whill, Whill. And if you go onto my TikTok, into my feed, or even those of you watching on YouTube, I visited the Scootaround in Orlando here and rode on this chair. This chair is called the Whill C2. It is, the regular scooter is like a big scooter. It might have 4 wheels or 3 wheels, and it's almost like a motorcycle. So it's actually kind of long, and people don't like to put it in the room because it takes up a lot of room. Well, the Whill is like the size of a chair, like basically the chair that I'm sitting on right now, and it works with a joystick in your right hand. It is so comfortable, so easy to use, and it's much smaller, and it pretty much fits into every room. They also have a foldable model called the F, and it literally folds up and just leans up against the wall. The other cool thing about both of these models is the battery pops out. So to charge it, you just pop the battery out, you just put it over to the side, and you charge it up. You don't need to plug, don't need to get a cord to the actual scooter. So,
and they do have to be, just regardless, they have to be a certain size to be able to fit through the doors.
Correct. You need to know the opening. So, and the way like Scootaround and all these rental companies work, they will deliver the chair or the scooter to either the terminal, but most of them will deliver it directly to your cabin. And then when you're done at the end of the cruise, you just leave it in your cabin and they will come retrieve it. And that's how it works. So absolutely. Now, the big caveat to this too, if you go on an older ship, there are certain older ships where, the pathways may be smaller, elevators may be smaller. You go on the newer, more modern ships, there's more room. That being said, I sent a client out. She has a scooter. She went on the Caribbean Princess. I figured, there's going to be no issues at all. She did actually have some issues, like some of the bars, like she just felt like she was like a little kid trying to get the attention of people. So, we learn from our clients that have mobility scooters and things like that. So now I know, okay, I'm not going to send her back on the Caribbean Princess or any ship in that class, because pretty much all the ships in that class are going to have the same issue. So if you'd like some help, Lisa, just reach out. Our services are 100% free. We don't charge you a dime for our services, and we'd be more than happy to help you find not only the right ship for your vacation, but then also make sure that it's going to meet your needs with the scooter and all of that. There's links in TikTok right here if you click the logo, or just go to where'swaltertravel.com, click on contact us, set up a time, and I give you a call. That's how we do it now. We have our online calendar up there. It's just so much easier. You guys pick a time and a day that's convenient for you, and I give you a call, or we do a video chat. So yeah, I will be more than happy to help you out. But yes, 100% mobility scooters are allowed on the ships. Yeah. Bradley, the ship still seems like it's under construction in some of the videos you're talking about. The Sun Princess. It is. It is. They should not, in my opinion, they should have canceled more cruises and gotten the ship done. I would have rather just not gone on the ship at all if the things were not ready, because what they're compensating the guests with, I don't think it's fair. I think they should be getting more compensation than what they did, because you promise shows in the dome, you promise the arena, you promise all these things, and they're not operating. And it's like, well, wait a minute, I paid to see all of these things, and now they're not there. And I don't think the compensation that Princess offered was enough. But again, you take your chances. I mean, you're rolling the dice to go on you want to be first. Guess what? Things may not be there. So yeah. Act normal. You have a cove balcony for your 8th day on the panorama. Excited to be closer down to the water. I know. I can't wait to see what that's like. Those of you who are on YouTube right now, you can see the picture of the Sun Princess on the screen. And so the balconies that we're talking about are below the lifeboats. So we're going to be right down by the water line. I cannot wait to see this. Deck 6. Cannot wait. Yeah, thank you, Act Normal. You're glad the move's going well. Yes. Katie loves the cove balcony on the Mardi Gras Deck 5. I know. I was like, we were walking off the ship in San Juan. That's where the gangway was. I was like, oh my God, there's balconies right here. I want to sail here. This would be so cool. So now we're doing it on the Sun Princess. I'm going to be very curious to see if the gangways are right there as well. Pretty TK, you have to try that. You've never had a lobster roll. For those of you who are of a certain age, like I am, you remember Howard Johnson's, and you remember going to Howard Johnson's and getting the big clam bowl or whatever, fried clam strip. DJ's Clam Shack will take you right back. And a true story, we're sitting there and the gentleman walked by, like literally, you're sitting right up against the sidewalk. And this gentleman just walked by and he could smell the clams, and we started a conversation. And at the same time, he's like, oh my God, that smells like Howard Johnson's. And I gave him the basket. I'm like, here, take some. And he's like, oh my God, it's Howard Johnson's. So yeah, those of you of a certain age, if you want to relive the Howard Johnson days, you go to DJ's Clam Shack in Key West. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. Hey, Douglas said that he stayed in a cove on the panorama and loved it. So there you go. You are going to love it. According to Douglas, one of my awesome clients said that he stayed in the cove on the panorama and loved it. And the panorama, of course, was the last of the Vista class. She's slightly larger, and instead of the IMAX theater, they put the bouncy thing up there in the front, so that should be fun. Bruno's full fried clams are just it's the strip, but I mean it's.
I bought this, but they had another kind.
Oh yeah, so they had right. So they had two kinds. They had the strips, like the traditional Howard Johnson, and then they did have full fried clam. But he warned me. He said, "Look, these are different. You got to acquire a taste for these." So maybe that's the ones that you're talking about.
But you can go online and do a search for DJ's Clam Shack, and you can find the menu online. So
amazing. We couldn't even get the key. It's where the key lime pie came from. Couldn't even get it because it was so stuffed. So that's my plan. We're going back in June. We're actually doing that 4-night cruise in June with the Ben and David group cruise. That is my plan. I'm going to get my clams. Going to get a half a lobster roll with Rebecca or whoever else is with me. And then I'm going to get a bucket of clam, and I'm going to get the freaking key lime pie. Yes, lobster rolls. This was a really good lobster roll. So it's going to be
I would say it probably did
amazing.
have.
What's that?
It probably did have a full small lobster on it.
Yes.
And that was I think it was $25.
Yeah, it's about the price he's saying it. I want to say it was about $35 to $40 for the double stuffed lobster roll. So yeah. DJ's Clam Shack. I'm telling you, people, if you just like, and it's so easy to get to. Whatever cruise ship you come in on, they're going to dock. If it's a small American Eagle, it's going to dock at slightly off center. If you're coming in on the big ship, you're going to walk off, and you are literally just going to walk straight up to Wall Street. You just got to walk straight up to Wall Street. It will be on your left. But I want to say 10 or 15 minutes, because I was like, are we really going in the right direction? Because it felt like we were walking a long way, but then sure enough, suddenly it showed up on the left. So good. Oh my God, it's so good. I can't wait to get back there. I cannot wait to get back there. So yeah, we'll be there in June. If anybody else is going on the June 12th sailing of the Valiant Lady, we will be there, or I'll be there. And Rebecca is still, we're not sure if Rebecca's going to be there or somebody else will be there with me, but we'll see. But June 12th on the Valiant Lady, I will be on there, and about 150 people on the Ben and David group cruise. So that should be a lot of fun. The very first inaugural Ben and David group cruise. We've had so much fun with everybody. Oh my God, everybody's so freaking excited about this one. So we've had so much fun booking everybody and getting everybody excited. And, hey, if anybody is watching, you all want to do a group cruise, you want to get a group together, or maybe you work for a company one of the cool things about cruise ships is, and a lot of people don't realize this, you can get the conference space and even the AV equipment. It's absolutely free. There's no charge at all. It's not like going to a hotel to do like a conference or a meeting or something with your whole team or with your company. And, you got to go to the hotel, then you got to rent the room, you got to rent the AV, you got to rent all this stuff. With the cruise lines, the room is 100% free. Usually the AV equipment is 100% free. There might be a setup charge and a tear down charge, but the equipment itself is 100% free. So, if you all got a big group and you want to come together with a big group, then cruises are a great way to do it. And of course, family reunions and all that. I love it when we go on a ship and you see 30 people coming at you and they all got the same t-shirt on and everything. It's so much fun setting up groups. It really, really is. So, and maybe we'll have to do something on the Sun Princess, some embarrassing, bright colored, obnoxious shirt for everybody. That could be a lot of fun. Hey, Greg says that you and your mom are heading to DJs in June. Oh, you used to get clams from Howard Johnson. I'm telling you. Oh my God. And it's a big bucket of clams.
And I don't eat clams, so he had.
She doesn't eat clams, so I had to eat pretty much the whole damn thing, and it was a lot of clams.
Which is why neither of us had my lobster roll is huge.
But I'm doing it again, and this time I'm just going to have to, take one for the team and have key lime pie as well. I'm not going to have any breakfast.
We should share a lobster roll and then have key lime pie. Just skip the clams.
I want the clams again, though. The clams are so good. So good.
Well, maybe we can recruit some helpers.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we'll have somebody come walk with us on that one. I don't know what everybody's doing on Key West, but yeah. Irene, is there any benefit when booking airfare in selecting senior rate as opposed to the adult rate? Well, that depends on the airline. In some cases, yeah, you're going to get a better rate. In other cases, it's just going to be the exact same thing. So basically, you just go ahead and, what I do is I'll just go ahead and price it every different way, and see that is there a difference in the price? Is there not a difference in the price? More often than not, there isn't going to be a difference, but sometimes. And what it is too is just like on a cruise, there may be limited seats or limited bookings that are available with the senior rate, like maybe 10 seats on the entire plane or the senior rate. Once you get past that, then everything's adult rate. So just try it. Just try it out, and that's the best way to do it. Or have your travel advisor go in and try it out. I don't see that very often in what I'm looking at, but you may see that on the specific cruise line website or
airline
cruise line app. But I don't see that very often, that option come up. So yeah. See, everybody likes clams, Rebecca. You should like clams. Everybody on TikTok is like clams. And lobster, of course.
Lobster I like. I like lobster, shrimp, and crabs.
We don't have any Massachusetts people yet, so we haven't seen a lobster show up yet. Yay! That's right, Greg. Your mom's not actually in the group, but she's right in there, right next to you. Sarah is on here. She's looking forward to the Ben and David cruise. I'm telling you, that Ben and David cruise is going to be so much fun, and it's getting here. What is it? It's March. April,
94
May,
days according to my countdown. Your mileage may vary depending on how your countdown's set up.
We've got Tina is in the group page. She is just keeping all of us updated on the time. And everybody is doing matching PJs. I will not be in the matching PJs, so I'll just be. I don't even know if I'll be up during the PJ party, to be honest with you. I'll be exhausted that day. But, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it's going to be a lot of people. This is the biggest group we put together on a cruise, so that should be a lot of fun. We really enjoy doing these group cruises. They're so fun. John, I know you missed the booking window. I know. And now that group is closed out. So, watch for the next one. I know they're going to have another one, so just watch for the next one. So I know the way they were talking, they just want to get through the first one because, you're going to learn a lot. The first one, there's always going to be like all these expectations. There's going to be things that you didn't get to do, things that you wish you would have done. I wish you would have done this differently. I think one of the best things that they've done, they're going to have dinner with everybody. And I think that's great. They're setting up 4 nights of dinners, like each one's going to have like 25 people or whatever it is. I think that's fabulous. So everybody will have a chance to have dinner with them at least one night. And of course, there's going to be events and things like that. So that's really cool. We may do the same thing on the Sun Princess because we got like 40 of you coming. So we may set up a couple of dinners with everybody if y'all actually want to have dinner with us. I don't know, maybe you don't, but if anybody wants to have dinner with us, we'll probably go ahead and set up some of those. Lisa Ball, you're on the West Coast. Where do I recommend for first cruise destination? Prefer warm. So, really your choice is the Mexican Riviera.
And Hawaii.
And Hawaii. Well, that's a long one though.
Yeah, it is.
But
if you actually want to sail from the West Coast.
Yeah. So if you want to sail from the West Coast, your two choices predominantly are going to be the Mexican Riviera, which is going to be Cabo, Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, Ensenada. Or you can go to Hawaii. Now that's a long one. That is like 8 or 9 sea days. And then you do like 5 to 7 days around the island. So it's like 4 days getting out there, 5 days getting back kind of thing. That's a really long cruise for your first one.
They do California coastals as well.
They do, yeah. They do a California coastal where they're kind of like go from San Diego, go up the coast, and then come back down again. So your choices are limited there. Now you can also get to Galveston, which is not that far of a flight, and you've got that is all going to be Western Caribbean. So that's going to be
there's
Cozumel.
Occasionally in the Eastern Caribbean.
Yeah,
I have seen
very
them.
Rare. It's got to be
very
a longer
rare
one.
Yeah,
but that's going to be like Cozumel, Costa Maya kind of stuff, things like that.
Honduras
as well.
Yeah.
So, those are going to be kind of your choices. Now, the one thing I totally recommend is working with a travel advisor, whether that's myself or anyone else, because then we can walk you through, because all of the cruise lines are different. And then even the ships within the cruise lines are different, because you have different classes of ship, you have different ages of ship, you have different sizes of ship, and then every ship has different features on it. And you may really want like this one feature, like I really, I saw this online or, whatever, and I would really love to have this feature on the ship. And then you just need to make sure that is on there. So especially for your first cruise. And we've cruised almost 20 years. And until we became travel advisors ourselves, we always used a travel agent, And Gary Bembridge, we were talking about him before. He's taken 200 and some cruises. He still uses his travel agent for every single cruise, because it's just helpful. You don't have to plan this stuff yourself. And plus, we can bring to you a lot of knowledge that you may not have. And then when things go sideways, every so often things go sideways, right? Either before the cruise, or you didn't get what you wanted, or something going on. We have direct connections at all the cruise lines, which you don't have. You'll have to call a 1-800 call center, whereas I call Tamika Tamika at Virgin Voyages. We had Bill and Jill Guru on earlier, and Tamika really helped us with the situation with Bill and Jill that I did go through the sailor services. They could not help us with the situation. So then I got Tamika involved, and she was able to bring a resolution to that situation. And that is another thing that a travel advisor brings you that you just will not be able to do on your own. The cruise lines purposely make it very difficult to compare. It's really difficult to figure out, well, how does not only Norwegian compare to Carnival, but how does the Bliss compare to the Panorama? It's kind of hard to just, for anybody who does, especially on your first cruise, is like, oh, well, they all look kind of the same to me. And I guess they all come with the same thing. They don't all come with the same thing. They don't all have the same features. And you really need to understand what you're getting for your dollar. Because I think the biggest mistake that a lot of people do when they make their first cruise, they just book the cheapest thing out there. They're like, okay, I'm going to have all this stuff. And then you get on the ship and you realize, oh, wait a minute, I got to pay for this. I got to pay for that. I got to pay for the other thing. And you end up spending like another $500,000, maybe $2,000 on the ship that you weren't expecting to pay. And so that is one of the big things that Rebecca and I bring. No surprises. We don't like surprises. We want you to be fully aware. This is what you're going to pay to get on the ship. These are the things that you're going to have to pay for when you're on the ship. So definitely help out.
One more West Coast note. Yeah. During the summer Alaska season, your options are even more limited, because a lot of the ships that do Hawaii or the Mexican Riviera in the summer are gone to Alaska.
Yeah. So that's another big thing to understand. And even season cruisers, forget about this. There's a finite number of ships, and there's a finite number of ships in each port at any given time. The ships run through season. So like the Carnival Panorama has pretty much been parked in Long Beach for years. But there are other ships that come and go. There's Princess ships that come and go to LA, celebrity ships come and go. So depending on the time of year that you want to sail, we're going to have different ships that are available. And this is true of pretty much all the ports Florida, New York, Galveston, and all that good stuff. So
And I will
just reach out.
I see you want to do a little more research first. One of my favorite places to do research is cruisecritic.com. If you register for an account, you'll be able to do
free.
searches. Yeah, it's free, and you'll be able to do searches. You can lurk on there but in order to do some of the activities, you do have to register. And they have ports of call sections where you can ask questions or look at things about that. They have each individual cruise line has its own forum. You can read up on stuff there.
Yeah.
So that's a good place to do research.
Full of complainers.
Oh, yeah.
So every single cruise line is terrible right now, according to a bunch of people. Like, I don't care which cruise line it is. You're going to go in there and go, oh, that service is terrible. The food's going downhill. Blah, 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 blah. You know, so there's going to be a lot of complainers in there.
And we do have a theory about that. Some of it will be valid.
Yeah.
But we also have a theory. There's a lot of people who don't try other cruise lines. They just stick with one thing.
Yep.
And after a while, you know, it's going to seem not as good.
It's gonna be stale. You know, that we have cruised on 10 different cruise lines. We've yet to have a bad cruise. Some we've enjoyed more than others, but we understand, you know, you have to go into each cruise line with the right expectations. That's really what it is. So yeah, if you want to go do a little more legwork, go ahead. Or if you just want to give us a call, I mean, that's what we do too. We do the legwork for you. What we do is we find out, well, what are you looking for? What would you like to do? What kinds of excursions might you like to do? And then we will present you usually with 4 options to look at to start with. And then we go from there. But like she said, cruisecritic.com, great website. Just, you know, be aware that
take opinions with a bit of salt, a grain of salt. Yeah.
So Pretty TK, thinking of your next cruise line to try after BV, what would I recommend?
I have one thing. A lot of what we might recommend depends on what you liked about Virgin and maybe what you didn't like.
What you didn't like about Virgin. But a similar cruise line, just talking, you know, cruise line itself, Celebrity is rather similar. Princess has a lot of the same types of features. Princess, in terms of, because I see your next comment, you chose Virgin Voyages for your first cruise because you were afraid of that final bill and all the hidden fees. So one of the things that Princess has that's really good, I think they have the best add-on package of all the cruise lines out there. So they have something called Princess Plus. And Princess Plus is your Wi-Fi, your gratuities, all drinks up to $15 each, and that includes your specialty coffees, your unlimited juice bar. You get 2 casual meals, which on most ships can be Alfredos or O'Malley's. You get
Gigi's.
Gigi's. You get 2 premium desserts every single day. They waive the Ocean Now delivery fee. So on the ship, you're going to be wearing a medallion similar to what you're going to be doing on Virgin Voyages. You're going to be wearing the C-band. Princess has the medallion, and you can wear it as a necklace or you can wear it on your wrist. They can find you anywhere on the ship. So you can go on the Princess app and you can order food and drinks and they will deliver it to you wherever you are on the ship. Just like having room service, really, anywhere on the ship. So there's a $15 fee on that, but they waive it.
Not per thing, per cruise.
For the first time. So they waive that fee. And then they also waive their room service delivery charges. So all of that wrapped into the Princess Plus is a really good deal. So if you want to go on another cruise line where you get a lot of things that are wrapped into a package, Princess is really, really good for that. But in terms of the style of the ship, the style, kind of like going on to a resort, that's going to be Celebrity. Celebrity has a lot of upcharges on it, but their ships are gorgeous. Like their solarium pools are just beyond belief. So, yeah, so those might be the 2. And then depending on what you want to do too, like Oceania is a great luxury cruise line that has a lot of the same inclusions. The only thing that they're missing is the gratuities, but the food is like even better on Oceania than it is on Virgin Voyages. It's absolutely amazing. And I will say one of the most underrated features of Princess are the shows. The original shows are actually really good, like Broadway style shows, really good. They have all these great performers on there as well. So yeah, if you're a fan of Virgin Voyages, we start to look at Celebrity, we look at Princess, maybe Oceania, something like that. Yeah, absolutely. That's where I would start looking. So John is asking if there's any whispers about the Brilliant Lady. So he's saying that Tamika hinted that it may be coming soon the last time she was on your channel. What she said was they were taking delivery of her soon, which they have. They now have taken delivery of the Brilliant Lady. Virgin Voyages now has it in their hands. I'm sure Fincantieri was basically saying, get the ship off our lot because we need the space. The only rumor that we have heard is the fourth quarter of 2025. That's it. There's no other word. For those of you who don't know, the Brilliant Lady is Virgin Voyage's fourth ship. She was supposed to have launched for the new year, 2023, going into 2024. However, she was delayed in her release. They've kept everything quiet since then. Virgin Voyages did not even take delivery of the ship until about a few weeks ago. The main difference with this ship is that they have brought the lifeboats way in. They actually created a whole new category of balcony cabin, but they brought the lifeboats way in, and they squared up the back of the ship so she can go through the Panama Canal. So she is the only lady ship that can go through the Panama Canal. I've heard some people say, well, bigger freighters go through the Panama Canal. Why can't, Scarlet, Resilient, or Valiant go through? Because the lifeboats are hanging out over the side. To go through the Panama Canal, the ship has to be flush. And that's because if the ship goes left or right and hits the walls, the lifeboats are going to be destroyed. So that's why.
Or the wall will be damaged.
Yeah, well, I doubt the wall will be damaged, but the lifeboat will definitely be destroyed. So that is the main reason why the other lady ships cannot go through the Panama. Technically, they will fit, but you can't have those lifeboats hanging over the side because they will be damaged if the ship were to go left or right. I mean, if you've seen the clearance in there, it's not all that much, and there's not much wiggle room going back and forth.
Well, we haven't been through the new locks yet. So. Huh? We haven't been through the new locks yet.
Yeah. So, and John's saying they're creating a lot of buy and demand for the ship. I mean, a lot of people are waiting to see this particular ship because we fully expect that Virgin is going to send it through the Panama Canal, and you will have a West Coast ship for the very first time, which, Los Angeles and Virgin just go together. So I'm sure it's going to be a big party. I'm sure it's going to be huge. So good morning, Steve. How are you? Good to see you. Pretty TK, have we ever done the Splash of Romance package? Is it worth adding? Great question. So Virgin Voyages has a package called Splash of Romance. It's $200. They only sell 75 of these on every voyage because their spa is actually kind of small, so they don't want to overload the spa. So only 75 sailors can purchase this package. And what it does, it gives you priority boarding. So the first boarding in Miami is 1:30. You will be in with that first group that's going. So there's the Deep Blue Extras line, which is the loyalty program, and the Splash of Romance. You kind of go in together. So that's one perk. You get time in the thermal suites. I can't remember how much time.
3 hours.
Something like that. And from what I've been told, it's like, yeah, they say 3 hours, but they're not going to kick you out. They're going to let you stay in there. And you get a bottle of champagne. And there might be
I think there's some little treats that show up in your cabin.
One or two things.
And you have to remember that even though way it looks, if you're trying to get it online, you need to buy it for both people. You don't. Mm-hmm. You just need to buy one.
Yeah, you just have to buy one because they'll show that you can buy it for both sailors. You just got to buy one of them. The reason why most of our sailors want it is for that priority boarding. Because it doesn't matter, like when you go to do your whole check-in and everything, you're going to pick a time to board the ship. It doesn't matter what time comes up. It could be 5:30, and it doesn't matter. You're going to board at 1:30.
It won't be 5:30.
So, and that's the big reason why most people get the Splash of Romance. You like that little comment in the back, just because it won't be 5:30 because it's too late to get on the ship. So if you get a 5:30 boarding time, you're missing the ship. But the point is that you will board at 1:30 no matter what time that says. So for $200, you're getting a bottle of champagne, you're getting the thermal time. So for our sailors, the number one reason they get it is for that priority boarding, so they don't have to worry about checking in and getting all checked in early to make sure they get the early time. You can just really do it. But again, they only sell 75. So once they hit that 75, there's no more available for that particular sailing. So yeah. Steve, we're doing good. As you can tell, Steve, we're doing pretty good. We got a beautiful day here. We got the beautiful yard behind me. Did I mention that I don't have to do the lawn? They're actually landscaping came included with this rental house. Can you believe that?
First time ever.
First time ever. I mean, look, No, it's a big yard back there. Oh, hey, there's the flamingo. Not flying yet, but there's the flamingo. But yeah, I don't have to do the yard work. I remember we were walking around this house and I'm looking at the lease going, does this say landscaping is included? And the guy's like, yep, yes. So yeah, so that big, beautiful yard back there, I don't have to take care of it. I'm so happy. Nurse Tara is asking, where is the brilliant lady hanging out at? I don't know. I haven't looked at, if you go to Cruise Mapper, is that the one that I use? Cruise Mapper, I think is the one I use. The transponder on the ship, all you have to do is go on to Cruise Mapper and ask to find the brilliant lady, and it'll show you where she's hanging out. So I honestly don't know. I just know that Virgin has taken delivery of it. She's sitting off to the side. According to Tamika, they're still working on all the itineraries. Now, you know, the thing about it is, because the ship was delayed, I would not want to be these guys who have to like book all of these ports and all of these destinations. Okay, Act Normal saying the brilliant lady is in Cyprus right now. So there you go. She's in Cyprus at the moment, hanging out. So all of the plans that they made for the brilliant lady went out the window. You know, they got to buy these slots where the ship is going to dock in. They got to buy, you know, that's basically it. They got to buy the slots where the ship's going to dock in. So when the ship got canceled, Virgin Voyages had a choice to make. Do we keep paying? Because they got to pay. Whether the ship shows up or not, they got to pay for that slot. They bought that slot. If their ship doesn't show up, it doesn't matter. They're still paying for that slot. They negotiated that slot. So then Virgin had to make a decision when they delayed the ship. Do we keep those slots or do we just simply let them go? It kind of sounds like they let a lot of them go. So now they've got to go back in and renegotiate. And I think they're looking at, how the Australia season went. They're watching San Juan right now to see how that's going. That's been rather popular. The Resilient Lady, I want to go on the Resilient Lady. I don't think we're going to get a chance to go down there this season, but maybe next season we'll go down to San Juan. I got a lot of sailors going down to San Juan. Check out the Resilient Lady. So I think they're also reevaluating. I mean, they only have 4 ships. And the one thing that they're doing, it's really interesting. Like you look at Azamara. Azamara has 4 ships. That's all they have. And Oceania has like 8 ships or something like that. 8 or 9. Something like that.
They have 7 currently. The Laura, I think, will be 8.
And what these cruise lines do that's very interesting is they don't really repeat itineraries. The ships are constantly, even if they're going to spend the whole season in the Mediterranean, like we're going to do Italy this week. We're going to go off and do this Greek itinerary. We're going to go off and do this other itinerary. And then we're going to do Italy again, but it's not going to be the same Italy. It's going to be a different Italy. And I think, one thing that Virgin Voyages could learn from, they can learn from these other cruise lines that only have a few ships. And what they've kind of done in Miami is they're kind of in a rut. They keep running that 4 and 5, 4 and 5, 4 and 5. It's like the same thing over and over and over. And to draw interest, you've got to change it up. You've got to throw in, let's do a 10-night. Let's go down to the ABC. Let's go, there's a lot of things they can do from Miami. And they're just not taking advantage of that. And then also with their ships over in the Mediterranean, they do have more variety in the Mediterranean, moving the ships around and doing some different itineraries. But that may be what they're looking at with the Brilliant Lady as well. Like, how can we adjust things so that the Brilliant Lady isn't just getting into a rut and just doing the same thing over and over? Like Miami, I'd really like to see them shake up what they're doing in Miami. They can do the 4s and 5s, but then maybe do some 10s, some 12s, some 14s. Change it up a bit.
They added like 3 of them for this summer?
They added 3 or 4 7-nighters that just are not the most exciting in the world. They're the same itineraries that you can do with everybody else.
It's a start, though. Yeah. It's branching out.
Yeah, it is branching out. Teet did the Greek island glow on the Resilient Lady, and it was lovely. I'll tell you, that is one of the best ones. And then the 10-night Starry Night, the Greek Starry Night itinerary, that's an amazing itinerary as well. In fact, I had a client looking at that one. We're actually booking them on Regent instead, Regent 7 Seas. But they were looking very strongly at the Resilient Lady doing the 10-nighter. You've heard that the Adriatic Gems is even better. I mean, look, the Mediterranean is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So, but that's great. Those are some of the ones that I want to do. And I really want to get on the Resilient Lady. That's why I was excited. She was coming over to San Juan. So getting over here. Yeah, Lisa, certainly reach out anytime you want to chat. We're here to help. And again, our services are 100% free. Nurse Tara, I don't know. They can sell slots. Nurse Sarah is asking if Virgin might have sold the slots to other lines. My understanding is they can do that, but I really don't know. Maybe that would be somebody good to get on a Thursday night, like one of these people who actually has to do that, actually had to schedule all that. It would be fascinating to find out how all of that works, right? But they have to plan like 3 years in advance. So that is really, really interesting. Folks, we have been going an hour and a half, so we're going to have to wrap this up. I do have calls coming up. I'm going to remind everybody that we have, if you want to come sail with us, come to Alaska with us. June 2025, we're going to be on the Oceania Riviera, only 1,250 people, essentially all inclusive, June 26th through July 8th. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Pretty TK. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Sun Princess, we're going out October 19th through the 26th, 2024 from Fort Lauderdale. Come join us. Thank you, Act Normal. I appreciate that. The Norwegian Aqua, May 31st through June 7th, 2025, the all-new Norwegian Aqua. And the one thing I didn't even talk about is the Follow the Northern Lights. You guys want to see the Northern Lights? My friends at Hurtigruten have a Follow the Northern Lights land sea tour. That it's a fully escorted small group. You get to stay in the Igloo Hotel. You go dog sledding. You go to the Sami Museum. You go to Santa's Village. And, of course, you get the Northern Lights cruise. 17 days. And we're booking December of 2024 through March of 2025 right now. I think we've got 10 or 18 bookings. So that is what we're going to be. That is what we're booking right now. So, folks, if you Pretty TK, you need to look into that June trip. Yes, your birthday is in June. If you want more information about any of these group cruises that I have mentioned, you're on TikTok. If you click the logo, I know there are links in my link tree that will take you directly to the groups, or and also on YouTube, if you click the link in the description, it'll take you right to the group. You can also just go to where'swaltertravel.com. There is a group cruise tab. All of our group cruises are right there. So definitely go check that out. And if you want to join us on any of the group cruises, that's all you got to do. Just go check that out. Let us know you want to come join us. And we will be happy to book you. That Alaska cruise is going to be insane. And if you book a balcony or higher, it's essentially all-inclusive. Not quite, but essentially all-inclusive. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. Hey, Huddle Adventures, thanks for tuning in. We're actually wrapping it up. We have been here. We've been running for 90 minutes. Eric, oh, you just woke up. I know, the time change. Who likes the time change? Nobody likes the time change. But you guys have a great day. Everybody over there on the YouTube side, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back on Thursday night. I don't know if I'll have a guest or not, but Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, we will be on our YouTube channel. Of course, we'll be right back over here on TikTok at 10:30 in the morning. So everybody on YouTube, thank you so much for joining in. Have a great rest of your weekend. And everybody over here